Hala Moana, everyone. This is Talk to Try, and today we are having a little bit of fun and taking a look at what we might be finding out about Path of Exile, Path of Exile 2, and Path of Exile Mobile at Exilecon 2023 in a bit of an unconventional way. I have designed a bingo card for us to use while we watch Exilecon 2023 from the comfort of our own homes. I'm sure people at Exilecon could also use the bingo card, but I doubt they're going to. Instead, us peasants, us lowly, totally sane exiles who were not able to travel to New Zealand or could not afford a ticket to Exilecon or a plane ticket to Exilecon, can instead just, sit here at our own computer desks, chill, have a drink, maybe turn this bingo card into a drinking game of sorts, and watch what's going to happen to our favorite ARPG over the next, few months, year and a half, 2 years. I don't know. I'm optimistic. I think that we'll be getting Path of Exile 2 late 2023 or early 2024. But we do know we will be getting a new expansion in a few weeks' time after Exilecon 3.22, and we have no idea when we're going to get PoE Mobile. So on this bingo card right here, I have designed a few different things that we might actually see at Exilecon 2023, and we are going to unveil them one by one here together. I do know that this is a bit of an unconventional video. I hope you will stick with me for it though. I think it's going to be a little bit of fun, especially for those of us who really enjoy Path of Exile. So we have our free space in the center for the Exilecon 2023 bingo card, and that is, of course, should I play the clip or should I just say it? Why can't I just do both?
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. That is, of course, the free space. We will hear it at Exilecon. If we don't, there will be a riot. Twitch chat will implode. Everyone in the crowd likely will riot. We don't want that not to happen. We're going to get this from Chris Wilson. And if we don't, come on, Chris. What are you doing? You have to say it. You have to say the line. You've been saying it for more than a decade now. You can't stop now. All right. And with that, let's unveil the first space of the bingo card, upper left-hand corner. It is an Atlas expansion. So I'm pretty confident that 3.22 will be an Atlas expansion. I haven't released my speculation video. One of my favorite PoE YouTubers out there who just really started his channel this year, Dreamcore, has. I haven't watched it yet. My script is done. I just have to record it, edit the video together and everything. We'll see how similar our predictions are. But I do think that we're going to get an expansion of the Atlas passive skill tree. Maybe some Atlas-specific jewels, another pinnacle boss. We'll have to see. That's the first one, though. Let's go left to right. The next reveal is a new shape-shifting form. Currently, we know about 3 different forms we'll be able to transform into with Path of Exile 2. Werewolf, Werebear, and Werecat. The former 2 are available through skill gems, while the third is available through an ascendancy class. I hope that there's a 4th form that will be announced. We're already beating Diablo 4 by 1 form. Why not make it 2 or 3? I'd love a Werebat, maybe a Were-Tiger. I know that's close to Werecat, but they're pretty cool. A Were-Boar, or something absolutely wild, specific to Path of Exile. How about a Were-Roa? It's kind of interesting, right? Okay, next one. Let's see what it is. Diablo 4. This is another almost free space. I think that we are definitely going to get mention of Diablo 4 from Chris Wilson or another developer. We'll have to see, though. Yeah, we'll just have to see. All right, next one. A race restart. So this Exilecon will also have an Act 5 race. And for the uninitiated, that means that a group of people are going to race from Act 1 to the end of Act 5. And typically, that takes, an hour and a half or so. And we had one last Exilecon in which the race had to be restarted due to some technical difficulties and some fair issues. So I'm wondering if once again, the racers will need to restart the race completely at Exilecon 2023. We'll have to find out. I'm not sure. We'll find out together, everybody. But it's on the bingo card. All right, next reveal. The first full line, 8th class. I know. This is some hopium. Maybe some copium. I honestly don't even know if this is necessary, but I'm just wondering, what if GGG is really looking to wow us? Could they introduce a whole new class to the game? It's very possible. We have the Templar, we have the Marauder, we have the Shadow, we have the Ranger, we have the Scion, and we have the Duelist. And if we add the Witch, that makes 7. What if there were an 8th class? What exactly would it be? I'm not entirely sure, but it would be pretty cool. Next one, Zana boss fight. Ooh, right next to Atlas expansion. I think if we get an Atlas expansion and it's the final Atlas expansion before Path of Exile 2, we're going to fight Zana. I know, some people might not want to fight Zana. A lot of people subscribe to this channel do want to fight Zana. It would be a fantastic send-off to this whole Atlas endgame of Path of Exile 1 if we concluded it by fighting the person who helped drive most of that endgame. You know, I know some of you might not be into the lore, but I do think after her disappearance, if she went, found something, powerful artifacts, some mysteries hidden by her father, the Shaper, long ago, she could be a formidable foe, truly. And it would be an awesome way to end Path of Exile 1's endgame. Okay, next one, a new weapon class. So we currently know that there will be the crossbow and the spear weapon classes introduced with Path of Exile 2. That's it. We don't know if there will be any other weapon classes. I hope there are. I hope there's maybe a flail introduced, maybe a scythe. You know, I know we have axe skins that are scythes, but they could just revamp those. I think maybe it could be possible. What if there were like gunpowder weapons in Path of Exile? Any of that would be pretty cool, truly. All right, next one. Complete passive tree revamp. What could this look like? A 3-dimensional tree, a 4-dimensional tree, a tree that shifts around, just something entirely else. Maybe the tree is shrouded partially. We're not quite sure, but they did say that they wanted to partially or entirely revamp the passive skill tree with Path of Exile 2, and that they would reveal it in good time. Let's see if they actually came up with something or if that was just all talk at Exilecon 2019. Oshabi cosplay. All right. PoE Mobile release date. I think that they've been silent on PoE Mobile for quite some time. It's just going to get dropped, truly. Path of Exile 2 might take a little bit longer, but I think PoE Mobile is ready to go. And I think they're ready to drop it into the world. Maybe after they announce a Path of Exile 2 release date, they'll just drop PoE Mobile almost immediately. It's just been nearly silent. So I fully expect that to actually enter our phones sometime soon. And they promised it would not be pay to win. It would not be like Diablo Immortal, which has turned out to be one of the most pay to win mobile games exposed to, you know, the Western audience in quite some time. So I do think that this is actually imminent, and we will get a release date for PoE Mobile. Next up, PoE 2 beta is all 7 acts. So we do know that there will be a playable beta of PoE 2 at Exilecon. We know that they will be at Gamescom later in the year, and we know that there will be a beta of some sorts for the rest of the player base. I think they're going to do all 7 acts. I don't believe they're going to take the Blizzard approach and only have Act 1 playable. I think all of it will be playable. I don't think they care about people knowing the story or already being able to race to the end. I think all of it will be playable, and people will be able to, you know, learn exactly what we're going to undergo at Exilecon. We'll see. Next up, the hooded figure is Sin. So in many of the trailers, the first 2 especially, the hooded figure, this hooded, shadowy guy, is prominent. I think he's Sin. At the end of Path of Exile 1, once we go into the endgame, Sin just disappears. Innocent says, oh, I'm going to go south, or yeah, I think it's south to like the Arctic, essentially, of the world of Rayclast, or the continent of Rayclast. And Sin just disappears after we slay Katava. He's been absorbing all this god magic, and he just nopes out. I think that somehow his magic was drained by the villain in Path of Exile 2, and he is trying to help the Path of Exile 2 protagonist, us exiles. Let's see though. Maybe it's actually Innocence. How wild would that be if the hooded figure, this darkened creature, is actually Innocence, this mass murderer of divine light, right? We'll have to see. All right, and then we have Free Space, which I've already gone over. Next up, Melee Overhaul. Will there be a Melee Overhaul in 3.22 or Path of Exile 2? Chris Wilson has been on the record saying that Melee will feel and probably play much better with Path of Exile 2 in all of the updated animations. I think he's right. I know that a lot of this game is based on feeling, and right now, compared to other aspects of the game, Melee just doesn't feel great. But once the animations are updated, once all the new skill effects are in, it's going to feel a whole lot better. But is something going to happen before then? We'll just have to find out. I do think that there will be some touching of Melee, some tuning of Melee. Touching wasn't the right word, but I'm going to leave that in anyway. Next up, new skills in 3.22. I think that they're going to add at least 3 new skills in this expansion. I know we've had Val skills coming in, but I think it's time for some new awesome skills to explore and destroy the Atlas and the regular axe with. I'm excited for some new skills. All right. Up, Exilecon only trading card game. So at Exilecon 1, there was an exclusive trading card game for the attendees of Exilecon, where the attendees could, start with, I think it was a single card, and fight the employees of GGG, who represented various monsters in Path of Exile. And once the attendees slew the employees using the cards, they would gain items and be able to eventually progress and defeat the endgame bosses available at the time. I believe that the Conquerors were being added to the game imminently, but weren't actually represented by the GGG employees. I think the highest were the Shaper and the Elder, and Chris Wilson was the Shaper, of course. I hope I'm right on that. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But I think there will be another exclusive Exilecon game, and it's probably going to be a trading card game. Grinding Gear Games, especially Chris Wilson, loves Magic the Gathering and trading card games in general. All right, next up. PoE 2 2024 release date. Yeah. I think they might confirm that PoE 2 is coming out in 2024 at Exilecon. Everyone is so excited for it, especially in the wake of Diablo 4, which, even though it is the most successful ARPG and seemingly video game of all time, I know many people were disappointed in it, including me. I just don't enjoy it. I dislike the loot. I dislike the feeling of progression in the game. It's just not my style. I know lots of people love it. My dad loves it. His friends love it. I'm not a fan though. So I do think that they're probably going to say, we're releasing PoE 2 in 2024, early 2024 or something, even though I think it would be amazing if it came out in December of this year. I do feel like 2024 is the most likely time for PoE 2 to come out. Next up, an unintentional F-bomb. You know the difference between an intentional F-bomb where somebody says it, they're totally comfortable, they meant to do it, and an unintentional one. We'll get at least one of those during one of the presentations by the GGG employees, maybe even during the Keystone with Chris Wilson, we'll have to see. Next, a wild Bex appears. I don't think Bex, the community manager, the head community manager at Grinding Gear Games, showed up at the last Exilecon, at least not on the stream. Maybe she'll show up this time. We'll have to see. I wanted to include Bex in the bingo card. Next, Reddit complains about no zooming, 2,000 plus upvotes. So almost every time we see footage of Path of Exile 2, people say, oh my gosh, they're moving slow in this trailer. They're not zipping through maps, slaying huge packs of monsters. They're going to take away my power fantasy and Path of Exile. They're going to turn this into Diablo 4. They're going to turn this into super slow Diablo 2. Early game Diablo 2. I don't see that happening. I really don't. I think they're just showcasing the gameplay that will be experienced by many players early on. At endgame, they will zoom. You will zoom. They showcase this in their actual endgame trailers. All of these trailers have been of early acts. There's no zooming going on. And yes, there does appear to be a distinct difference in playstyle between Path of Exile 1 early acts and Path of Exile 2 early acts. But I think they're just trying to appeal to a wider audience and trying to pull people in, trying to get them to play the game, trying to show off all these new fancy effects and animations. I don't think the end game of PoE is going to change that much once Path of Exile 2 comes out. But we'll all see, won't we? All right, final line, everybody. Here we go. Passive tree planner in-game. Wow. What if they announced this? I don't use POB, Path of Building, at all. I know, quite shocking, but I would use it if it were in-game. It would be awesome if they added an actual planner so you could map out your way through the passive skill tree or load in various things into the game. That'd be very cool. It would take away a little bit of the, mystery and illusion of choice that you do have when you don't have the planned path through sitting on your screen in the game. But I think it would be a win for a lot of the community. Next up, Lord of the Rings. They're in New Zealand. Someone's going to mention Lord of the Rings, Hobbiton. Oh, you can do this during your off time at Exilecon or before or after, whatever. They're going to mention Lord of the Rings. 100%. I hope I get this one shot in along with this shot right here. Because I'm going to use this as a drinking game, I think. Shot of tequila per square covered. I hope that's at least 2 right there. Next up, 3.22 equals Boat League. The long-awaited Boat League could be the next Path of Exile expansion. The one after Exilecon. How hype would that be? I don't know what they would actually do with that. Maybe it would be, moving from island to island, sort of a delve above ground on a chain of islands, an archipelago of sorts. We'll have to see. Would be kind of cool. Up, Asmongold reacts. Will he react to Path of Exile 2 and Exilecon? I think so. I think this might be 3 guaranteed shots for me. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Well, maybe he will, maybe he won't. And last but not least, new game announcement. Could they announce a new game at Exilecon? A Path of Exile spin-off, a trading card game, another mobile game, a different title? I don't think so. I think they're going to be sticking to Path of Exile and various, branches of it with Path of Exile Mobile. But it's possible. They could do it. They're pretty big now. They make a lot of money from us sane exiles. They could announce something new. And if they did, honestly, I'd probably support it. They're an amazing company. They're great developers. And they do care about their players. Even if many of us don't believe that to be true. All right. And that was it. That was the Exilecon 2023 bingo card. I hope you will all join with me in using this as a drinking game or a for fun game of sorts once Exilecon comes around in about 20 or so days. It's going to be an absolute blast. I hope you join me on this amazing journey. Subscribe. Make sure to tune into all the videos that are going to be coming between Exilecon and now and everything that comes afterward. You know that I will be covering expansion 3.22 and beyond. I'll see you there. If you'd like to support the channel, please make sure to watch the videos on your screen now. I don't know where they'll exactly be. And if you'd like to directly support me, consider becoming a channel member or a patron on Patreon. I thank everyone who's currently supporting me for their amazing support. Tala Moana.